What happens when you get two guys from the street who absolutely love to eat and give them a license to rant? You get your hosts, John Peasy and Mikey Sausage.
Why are you laughing? You're laughing.
Did you hear the little ding?
Yeah. You're laughing because
Was that thing you and me or the producer?
From now on, we're going to have like a little box in the corner of Rob giving us directions, the whole thing. I think that'd be really funny. We do that for one.
Nobody wants to see Rob. Yeah, everybody. Well, actually, we need a little box of yodels taken away from you before the show because you look too happy right now.
What does that mean? I'm too happy.
You look happy. You look happy. You look like a happy guy today.
You depressed me yesterday, so why shouldn't I be happy today?
Because you ate all the Chinese food.
No, because we had this conversation about like, listen, I like to eat, but it's not really my fault. I really blame my grandmother.
No, it's up here, my friend.
No, I blame my grandmother. Because as I was eating and gaining weight as a kid, my grandmother would just say, "Oh, he's just big boned." So I said, "All right, I'm big boned."
Okay.
I blame society.
It's society.
Yeah, I blame Ronald McDonald.
Well, hey, when it comes to eating and all that, I like to eat too. I love to eat. I like fried chicken and I like all the fast foodie
chicken
things. Wings, yeah, all that kind of stuff. However, it's a fight with the mind. But tonight, never mind all of that. Tonight, this is an exciting day for me. Do you know why, Sausage?
Die or day?
No, it's die and day. Okay. No, actually, it's an exciting day, or actually evening, if you will. And by the way, say hi to Fazal Wahab. Hello, Fazal.
How'd you know how to pronounce that name so good?
Because I'm half Muslim. You didn't know that?
No,
Allah. Yes, I have a Muslim name.
Yeah,
yes. We were speaking about this last week. Last week had this wonderful guest on, but this week is such a different direction that we're going. I've been watching this guy on YouTube now for about I don't know, at least a year or so. He's an unbelievable impressionist and singer, and very unique and different. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Is he a better impressionist than you and a better singer than me?
Oh, absolutely.
Really? Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm going to test him. You know that, right?
You're going to lose.
Okay.
He's that good. He's really that good. He's a very talented guy.
Okay.
So I want to, rather than even you and I talk about tonight, all the things that we do, like you overeating and me, never being home and running around doing comedy. This is something that actually I think is I want to bring the guy right in because I think we should spend a lot of time speaking to him.
Really?
So can I bring him on, Sausage?
So you think he's going to be interesting?
No, it's more entertaining.
Okay. Oh,
and also what's interesting is where he came from.
His mother?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
all right. You want to introduce him? Do you know how to introduce him? Do you know what to say, what he is, what he does?
I have notes.
Yeah. Are you going to read from the notes?
Yes. I don't even have my glasses. I'm going to read.
I think you should read that whole thing. It's okay to look down. This is not a fancy show.
Okay.
But I think he deserves a good introduction because the more we build him up, the better he has to be, or else he's,
Now you're putting pressure on the.
Yeah, exactly. What the hell? He's skinny. He's skinny, yeah.
After the introduction, we're going to see him hanging on a rope in the studio.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that could eat anything probably and never gains another pound.
Yeah, I guarantee he's one of those guys. I could tell. You could just tell. He's one of the guys that you and I would hate as a person, but love as an entertainer. There you go.
I don't know. His mother's watching. Be careful.
This guy is a YouTube sensation, and I've been watching him for a year. And I'm telling you, and I know talent. I own an entertainment company.
You may be a stalker. A year.
Yeah, actually, now I know where he lives, which is even worse.
Watch out, Gabe.
So this is this gentleman's name, and I say gentleman, but he's really, to me, he's looked like a young kid, and he's not a young kid, but he looks like he's like really young. His name is Gabriel Brown, but it's AKA the Black Gryph0n. And by the way, Black Gryph0n on YouTube is Black Gryph0n.
It's because he's a cheap bastard. He don't want to buy the other name.
Apparently, something, and you can see his name at the bottom there. Now, he's a singer, he's an actor, he's a musician, a songwriter, an animator, a voiceover artist, and who recently was the lead. He had these lead roles in Geronimo Stilton and Becky for Loon and Pixar's Finding Dory, as well as numerous viral YouTube videos, including, and I wasn't sure about this, ASDF Movie 10 by Tom Scott, No Mercy by The Living Tombstone, and Beep Beep, I'm a Sheep by Little Deuce Deuce. I know I've slaughtered that. I'm pretty sure, but we'll ask him about that.
But I heard Finding Dory. That means he's got some money.
Yeah, apparently he's probably making lots of cash.
That's good, right?
At 18 years old, Gabe joined the U.S. Navy. He was training as a SEAL when he broke his femur in a skydiving incident. Actually, an accident, not even an incident.
He broke his femur chasing the fish. He's a SEAL, right?
He was becoming a SEAL apparently, and he went skydiving and broke his femur.
Or SEAL?
What? No, he could actually impersonate a SEAL.
Okay.
He switched then to the Navy's music department, which imagine that you go from a SEAL, that's a guy that's underwater, you're doing all this really cool undercover stuff, and then now you're singing. But he had the talent. So he switched to the music department and spent 3 years touring in Eastern Hemisphere as a lead singer for the 7th Fleet Band, Orient Express. And during his many deployments, he was awarded the Navy's Achievement Medals for singing authentically in 12 languages for millions of people. 12 languages. The guy speaks. We can't even get rid of a Brooklyn accent.
He sang in the Orient Express. I used to eat at that restaurant on Friday night.
Now separated with an honorable discharge, which is really cool, and an extensive following around the world, which is a huge following. He is including over 150,000 YouTube subscribers. Gabe continues to sing on stage and in studio. Gabe's credits are including vocals for the hit animated TV series, which was huge, My Little Pony.
Okay.
And Friendship is Magic, Little Pet Shop.
Listen, you made me feel small enough already. Bring the guy in. I feel like making me feel inadequate right now.
You're feeling that small. Well, Gabe is also a pilot, a scuba diver, and a photographer, and even more.
All right, come on. Bring him in, Hicks.
Bring him in. All right, folks, here he is.
Oh, there he is.
The man, the voice, the name, Gabriel Brown, a.k.a. Black Gryph0n.
You got a little bit of cereal color haircut, Peasy. Look at him.
What's that?
Yes.
Yeah. It's kind of a
right.
Kind of a punky kind of
like
thing.
Ralphie from The Sopranos. You know, they was crazy.
Yeah.
What's going on, Gabe? Or should we call you Black or Gryph0n or Mr. Gryph0n or?
You can call me all of that. You just string it together. Gabe Black, Gryph0n Brown, and then whatever else you want to stick on the end of it.
That's cool.
Keep it simple, you know.
I thank you. Keep it simple because it's better for you to easy to understand, or for us, keep it simple for us.
For everyone.
Okay.
It's just, you know,
we're happy to have you, bro. This Peasy doesn't bother me. He loves you. He watches you. He's bragging about you, and we're happy to have you. So, right, Mr. Peasy?
I'm actually very excited. I mean, if people go to his YouTube channel and watch this guy, you'll see he does like 40 impressions of singers in like 3 minutes, and it's on point. It's not okay. Some of them are not decent. They're on point, and it's a true talent to be able to mimic a singer as well as impersonate other like voices. And this guy's doing voices for like video game people and cartoons, and it's really fascinating. So I'm hoping that he's going to show us some tonight. But first, Gabe, the first question is, how did you bump into impersonations like as a child? Like where did this all begin with the young Gryph0n, the young Black?
That's a fantastic question, sir. Way back in the day, my dad, who is insane, and I seem to have inherited that trait. He used to read us all, you know, books. I have 3 siblings, younger brother, and then 2 younger sisters, which makes me the most important. And they agree. He would read books to us, and he would do voices for all the characters. And that was kind of, you know, so we all started doing that. You know, you mimic things as a kid. But for whatever reason, I did it the most. And I have a weird memory. I have the ability to memorize things to the tonal inflection. So no one likes watching movies with me because if I see them 3 times, I memorize them and I can repeat them back. For me, regular speech sounds kind of musical. So if someone were to quote the line, I'll try to think of some line from some movie. Maybe Shrek, where he goes, "Doesn't that bother you?" If someone were to do "Doesn't that bother you?" or get the inflection wrong, to me that's like singing off key. And so I would correct that, and my siblings didn't like me very much for that. But then I found out that there's a career in it, so now I can laugh at them.
So suddenly the freaky kid becomes the guy everyone wants to be. Isn't that unnerving in life? Wait a minute. You say you're hearing this. You're hearing it as a sing song. You're hearing it musically and inflection. So So you have to recreate it in your mind. And if somebody doesn't do it, you're angry. Like, hey, don't you hear it? This is the way it's going. So you clearly must have a great ear.
Well, thanks. Yeah, it does. And yeah, it does kind of get on my nerves. It's just I hear it, and I actually assume everyone probably has this on some level, but when you hear something and you recall it, it's like it's playing in really quiet earbuds, like just in the back of your head. You can hear it repeated. And that, movies are the same way. And but I pay particular attention to tonal inflection and to pitch, and because that's a very big part, of what makes a character a character. And if that is messed up, even if the words are right, even if the line is correct, the quote isn't correct unless everything about the quote is correct. At least that's kind of how I perceive it.
And you're also musically as well inclined. So in your bio, you say that you could actually sing in all these different languages, which means, are you really learning those languages, or are you just learning the inflection of how to sing in that language?
No, I'm not. I try to, when I can, look up what I'm saying so that I know kind of on stage how to emote, because I could be singing a love song, or I could be talking about my dead grandmother, and I don't want to be looking very happy if that's the case. But yeah, a lot of times what would happen in the Navy is, say we were going to Indonesia and I had to sing a song in Indonesian. Sempurna is actually, we did go to Indonesia and I had to sing a song called Sempurna, which means perfect. And the lyric sheet they gave me was not written in Roman characters. So I had to find it on YouTube and listen to it. And then I would write it down phonetically. So the spelling is not correct, but it's the way I hear it. And I actually had to create some of my own characters too, because there are gutterances that our Roman characters can't create. So, especially in Cambodian, like there's a lot of clicking and weird sounds that we don't use. So that was
sounds like he just ordered like chicken chow mein with fried rice. I don't even know what that was.
He just cursed you in sausage, an Indonesian sound. It's fascinating that I want people. Well, of course, we would like you to display some of this talent that you have in some voices. Now, there's somebody. Of course, I'm a little bit of an older guy, so I love the classic Simpsons and the things. I really love that. Now, he does a lot of people I hadn't even heard of because I wasn't playing those games. There's like these newer characters that you do. But
yeah, me too.
His Marge Simpson and all of the Simpsons ones were really fascinating to me. There's a lot of people I know that do them, but he has a diverse array of voices. Would you mind doing anything that you feel that you're comfortable with?
Yeah, sure. Let me see. Let me try to think of something. Yeah. Well, there's Marge, and she's kind of more like this. I'm so proud of you, homie. But it's hard for me to do because I've actually just been singing, so my voice is all.
I think it sounded really good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And there's Homer J. Simpson. He's like, Mr. Burns. Like more, in the back of it. And then, well, there's Mr. Smithers. Some sort of force field around these vegetables. But yeah, I don't know.
Now, let me ask you this though: when you notice this sausage when he's doing these impressions, he physically takes on.
Yeah, well, that's important. That's what I find the best, because he has to do that to become the best at it, right, Gabe? You really kind of like have to use your whole body.
Yeah, it's about kind of assuming the personality of the character, because on top of the voice, the things that are said are important. Which is why, like in my character impressions video, I tried to write the lines in context, because I've done impressions before that are direct quotes. And while that's easier for me to do because I know exactly how they say the quote, I've been accused of faking it many times because it is the direct quote. So I like to write, when I'm doing videos now, I like to write my own script. And of course I try to make it, relatable to the character.
What does it mean though? What do you mean by accused of faking it?
People think that I take the audio clip and then I lip sync to it.
Wow, that's amazing. I wouldn't even. I mean, it's clearly coming out of your mouth. That's. So again, though, when you phonetically produce a sound of a person, I see, like as you do Simpson, Mr. Smithers, you look up like you throw it up into the air like it was him. I think are you seeing him in your mind's eye as you produce it?
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to picture his, sinister, old man who just wants money.
You see that? You squint your eyes, you push it up. That's what.
My
Let me ask
fingers
you a question. This is a self-serving question. All right. I'm a ventriloquist, so I almost do something similar to you do. I have dummies and I make them speak, but each one has a different character or a different voice. But the one I'm having a really difficult time with is president. I can't nail. I've been working on it, and and even people out there that watch the Black Gryph0n YouTube site, people say I'd like to be able to do that. Where do you begin to really understand how to recreate somebody else's persona and voice through yourself? And then my next question will be is how do you create such a large range? Because Mike, if you've seen his range is dramatic. It's from one extreme to another. I mean, there's singers that can sing in 3 octaves, which is very unique, but he has this diversity amongst voices that's unbelievable. But where do you begin if somebody says, I want to be like Black Gryph0n? Where do you start?
Well, I haven't heard anyone say that yet, but I like to imagine that people do. For me, I start by observing their mannerisms before I even try to nail the voice, because that's a huge part of it. I agree with you. I have a very difficult time nailing, our president. And it's, there are a few people who can really do it well. I think, what's the guy from Saturday Night Live, 30 Rock? Yeah. I don't know why his name's escaping me right now. He does a fantastic job, but it's in his facial expressions. It's in his mannerisms, wrong. He does the lips thing. No. Okay. He does the kind of the facial, emoting, which adds so much to the impression. I don't know how well I would think that he did if I only listened to him. So I start out by observing. I start out by observing the person or the character that I'm trying to imitate, and I watch them and I try to memorize first their personality before I even pay attention to the voice.
I think the lips help them emote. I think that helps them a little bit, get that voice out,
Well, clearly on Trump, though, because Trump has this circular fishy kind of mouth. So when he goes, yeah.
We have a fantastic country. Okay.
And it's very hard to do if you don't want to move your lips. Just imagine that, Gabe, what you do is incredible. Just imagine trying to do just without moving your lips. I mean,
I know
this guy. If you see this guy, Peasy, he's like.
But I can't do this. I can't do this, Trump. I've been working on this for a while, and I can't nail this. And I have friends of mine. The closest I got to it is if I hold my nose and do I got it. Listen. It's disaster, I tell you. That's as close as I get.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. So I can't do my act with a puppet holding my nose like this. Let me tell you.
You can there's a little flap that's used for when you swim that will naturally close off your nose from the back of your throat. If you could activate that. Yeah. That's how you could simulate that you have a plugged nose without actually closing your nose.
I'm sure some nights Mr. Peasy's wife wants to hold his nose.
Put me on the water.
I'll help you practice.
Wait a minute. What you just did it though. You made that nasal sound without squeezing anything.
Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm keeping my nose closed. I'm not letting any air out. Just kind of,
wow.
and that's just to simulate.
How you doing?
I know what you could do if you want to keep your mouth closed and keep the sound out here. I don't know. I can't do it. I can't do it like you can. But
you sound like Arnold underwater.
Arnold, I'm drowning.
People are going to think it's the retarded
but
shoe.
you know what? The easiest one to do is Hillary, because he just takes her out and coughs and make her fall. And there's a whole act.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Hillary's easy, but this Trump thing I'm working. So you're suggesting though this, and when somebody wants to learn a voice, the thing you really want to do is focus first on all the physicalities first, and then start listening, and then the way they speak in. You said a word before, I've forgotten.
Mannerisms.
Mannerism.
The character itself, like the personality and the mannerisms, that is a huge part of an impression, and it's something that I hear a lot from voice actors. The emphasis in voice acting should be on acting, which I'm sure you know, especially as a ventriloquist. Your show is predominantly acting. I mean, it's got to be your subject material has to be entertaining. The impression's only a small part of it, but in the case of Trump, it is difficult because I can't really get a grasp on who he is, not that I've really tried that hard because
Interestingly enough, though, when I watch you do all these different singers and I watch you do all those characters, you're dead on.
Acting school or voice, because I know when they teach people how to do different accents for acting, they have a voice coach. Did you do any of that at all, or is that you're just like a natural mimic?
No, I didn't. When I went to the School of Music, which is something that when you get like picked for the MU program in the Navy, everyone's got an A school. When I went, I had some like minor training there, but I don't think I learned anything from it because I have kind of my own way to do things, and regardless, I've been told it's incorrect many times. That's not how you do vibrato. It's like, well, it sounds okay, so what?
So you're the James Dean. You're a rebel.
Yes, the Rebel Alliance.
But now you do like all my my Cartmans, my all them guys, right? What the hell is that program?
Cartman, you're talking about Family Guy?
If not Family Guy.
Or South Park.
South Park. You do the South Park guys?
That's harder because Trey Parker and Matt Stone actually use software to pitch their voice up, but I can try. Let me see. You Miss Fan, the stick of destiny. You know, it's like, what are you doing, kid? You know, it's you gotta
pot kitty.
yeah. Okay, drugs are boiled. Okay, but
yeah, he's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the chef is a good one always.
Oh yeah, and Timmy and he's like, yeah, Timmy. You know.
Now, how's that show? That's a great show also. I mean, that's like, it's just amazing to me. Like, Simpsons started off, but Simpsons, would you consider it like, my adults watch it, but not as adult as Family Guy and as South Park got. You know?
I completely agree.
But didn't that begin that was the beginning of all this next genre coming in?
Yeah, but Simpsons is 30 years now, I think.
I know, that's the oldest baby ever. I'm starting to think she's a midget.
No, but just I heard Hank Azaria doing an interview. He does like 4, 5, 6 voices. I don't know which ones. I think the bartender. He does a couple other guys, but you know Hank Azaria, right? Gabe, you know who he is?
Yeah. Mo, bartender's Mo, right?
Yeah, I think he was
guy
Mo,
who talks
and,
like
and he did the black guy, and he did the Indian guy in the store, and he was he was in Birdcage with Robin Williams. He was the male maid, if you don't know Hank Azaria.
Right.
And he was. It's like, you know, like he first got the job, and he was like, I'll take it. I need the money. Like, and then 30 years later, you know, it's crazy. The money is sick.
Well,
no, I know that. Yeah.
But Gabe, he did this My Little Pony thing, which, by the way, became tremendous. And now they have the Bronies, which is really tremendous as well. So have you done, I mean...
What's a brony? What's a brony, PZ?
Tell us, Gabe, what's a brony?
This question.
Sounds like food.
It can be, depending on how you look at it. Like, from a lion's perspective, you know, all of us are. I just got deep.
We're all bronies?
Right, yeah, no, we're all food.
Oh.
To somebody.
Yeah, that's true.
So what's a brony, Gabe?
Brony is, I think the term, it's accepted right now that it is like bro and pony combined. And it's just the name that like mega fans of My Little Pony have given themselves. I will, as an addendum to that, mega fans that are not within the target demographic. So typically guys.
So it's a man. No,
not always. I mean, it has evolved to become a unisexual term.
Even a brony is like a man, right? Like, hey, bro, you know, like you're a man, right? I mean,
yeah, that's how it started out. There was bronies and then girls who watched it who were not, you know,
I remember my sister watching it as a kid. Like,
it's different. It's very different.
Oh, yeah. What is it? What's the difference now? What is the difference?
The difference is it's an action show. There's war. There's explosions. There's
what?
You know. Oh yeah. No, really. I know that sounds crazy. If you want to find out, look up T-Rex and Twilight Sparkle battle scene on YouTube. Your mind will be blown. It's like Dragon Ball Z.
So wait, so My Little Pony is like G.I. Joni? What is it?
Well, so Lauren Faust, who is the creator of the Powerpuff Girls, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friend, animator on Iron Giant, her goal and her MO since, you know, she was doing cartoons was to make shows that the parents could watch with the kids so that they didn't get bored when their kids were watching the Saturday morning cartoons, etc. So her she deliberately tries to put in little Easter eggs that adults can enjoy. She tries to make the show like sparkly and fun and interesting and enjoyable for the kids, while simultaneously giving it, a good storyline, good, well-developed characters. This is the fourth generation of My Little Pony, and it's the one that they have, marketed the most towards a broader demographic. Hence, there's actually a movie coming out in theaters this year. So
they're making money with it.
Oh yeah, they're making lots of money with it.
But that was not the intention, though. Originally.
Not initially.
Right.
Not initially, but Lauren still has that, modus operandi. She was still intending to for it to be enjoyable for older people. She just didn't expect that there would be such a massive fan following of specifically people between
which
ages
again
15 and 50.
With The Simpsons is the same idea. It was like it started as this children's cartoony kind of thing that kind of grew for everybody. It had those Easter eggs, as you will, in there as well. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting how I think the Simpson things jump-started this whole growth on one level. You're almost a great spokesman for the bronies now, but I have to tell you, because that's very clear. We have an understanding of what he's talking about. I find it interesting.
Hey, Pease, J.S. Gilbert, the guy online. You remember J.S.?
Yes.
J.S. a voiceover actor he's like 40 years in the business. He was Barney for 7-8 years. He was like He-Man. Who was the guy that was against He-Man? The enemy guy. It was out of it's after me. Young, I'm too old for that.
No
but
idea.
Whatever the
She-Man?
No, whatever his main enemy.
You're never too old, Sausage. You're never too old for a
No, whatever the guy's name. But he did a lot of voices and he made a lot of money back in the day. And what he was telling me was, today, everybody and their mother does voices. He said even the agents that used to represent him started doing voices and taking the gigs, and
wow.
And now the rate has gone down so much it doesn't even pay for him to even go to work anymore.
Is that true for you, Gabe?
Well, that's interesting. It's not been true for me. Most of the voiceover gigs, especially the union voiceover gigs that I booked, pay pretty well. But it really depends on the TV show. I mean, I think The Simpsons, they get $1 million. The main characters, get $1 million per episode.
That's it.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about like an anomaly like that. I'm talking about like even cartoons. I mean, on The Simpsons, right? So if let's say you do the motor bartender and all that stuff, is it really hard to replace you? That
is a very good question. And people do get recast. Though I would say that it's kind of coming out of that now because voice actors are starting to become popular. People are starting to notice. Tara Strong, who is the voice of Twilight Sparkle and My Little Pony, she's done tons of other stuff. She was the voice of Bubbles and Powerpuff Girls, like lots of crazy stuff. But she only recently went from like 5,000 followers on Twitter to 300,000 followers. People are starting to pay attention. And I think the big reason is because some big screen actors have started to shift into voiceover. Mark Hamill is the voice of the Joker in the Batman cartoon.
Great.
There's Whoopi Goldberg has done a lot of voiceover now. William Shatner, of course, did a lot and is continuing to do a lot of voiceover. And it's easier from what I get from people who do both. It pays about the same as on screen, and you don't have to worry about showing up and looking good, which is good for me. Having 1 million takes, being cast based off of your appearance. They're specifically looking for your ability and nothing else, So I do think the industry, now that it's expanding and now that people are paying attention to voice actors, is rebounding a bit from that everyone can do it type thing.
Gabe, let me ask you this. This is interesting. I have a friend of mine who's in Pittsburgh who's does, like I mentioned a little bit off air, he does many voices of old time people, all old time people, and he's really good, on point, just like you are, but they're all old. And I used to tell him, why don't you do some new voices? And he goes, if showbiz is changing. I said, what do you mean it's changing? This is what he said. That's why I'm asking you this question. He said, years ago in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, when people would do voices, they were huge stars. The studios would take somebody and make them into tremendous stars. Like, let's say old movies like Cagney, or even like the host Johnny Carson. People were stars, internationally tremendously huge as one entity. And then what happened is, he said, now that with reality television and different things, you get somebody that comes and goes, like the Housewives of New Jersey, or all these things like reality shows where they just come and go. They're popular for 2 years, and then you never hear from them again. So
right.
because you really can't focus on have something that has this long sustainability like you did many years ago with these huge stars. Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that. I think just across the board, there's so much more of it now. It's easier to put things on air. It's cheaper for the networks, so they can afford to produce more shows. You know, with Flash animation and computer animation becoming so readily available, easy. I mean, I do computer animations on my computer that rival, you know, network quality animations from 10 years ago. That's not, you know, saying that I'm good. It's just the technology has improved so much. So it's cheaper and easier to do. There's more out there. I see that it's a double-edged sword, though. There is the negative that you're going to have a harder time, you know, if you book this show, odds are that's not going to be your big break. But you have a better chance of booking this show because there's more out there. So while I would say that it's probably less consistently sustainable, it is easier to break into the industry.
Wow.
We have somebody in the Facebook chat room, Daybreak Randall. So he basically just said, Gabe, I just want you to know that you're a huge inspiration for people like him who write and sing about MLP.
Oh, thanks, man.
And he also helped me about and it was Skeletor. He-Man's, you know.
Skeletor.
Yeah, Skeletor.
Right. Gotcha.
Gabe is inspiring people.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
And you're perspiring people. So
that's all right. No, that's good. I'm happy to see that.
It is really nice.
Got to make you feel good, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's the biggest reason that I keep doing YouTube. Actually, is because it doesn't pay the best out of the things that I do,
right.
But it's something that I can completely control. I control my image. I control what I put out there, and I get direct feedback. I can communicate directly with the people who like it, and it's awesome. It's the most honest form of entertainment. I think YouTube's an amazing thing, and like we were saying before with the double-edged sword thing, YouTube is actually making TV hurt because. Yeah. You know, people don't have to worry about commercials. People can watch whatever they want, whenever they want. There's a trillion channels, you know, and I don't even think that's an exaggeration.
Right. Do you remember creating your channel? Do you remember your first video? Do you remember like having like your first subscriber or second one or like
your first 100, the first 1,000?
Like 500, you were like, oh, wow, this is great. And like, you know, you remember that whole process?
Well, the funny thing is I started my channel a long time ago, like when YouTube was first beginning with my brother, and we were just uploading. We were really into parkour as kids, you know, doing flips and stuff. So we were making videos, doing that. And we're like, oh, 50 views, double digits, what? And then, you know, I kind of forgot about my channel for a while. And I started making the MLP related stuff, and, you know, in my spare time when I was in the Navy. And I was putting mostly stuff on DeviantArt, which is a website that isn't even related to YouTube, you know, just testing out, you know, my animation software and messing around with that. And someone uploaded a song that I wrote to YouTube, and it got 100,000 views, which was bigger than anything I'd seen, but it wasn't to my channel. And I was like, uh-oh, I should be uploading stuff to YouTube. So I renamed my channel Black Gryph0n and started uploading stuff. And yeah, the subscriber rate.
So I have to ask, what happened with the zeros? Who has the O?
Somebody on DeviantArt and somebody on YouTube, and neither of them used their channel. I tried to contact them. I tried to get it from them, you know, no cigar. And at that point, I didn't have any.
So now, but here's a funny situation now. Right now, if they're just sitting on a channel, if they're just sitting on that and just like, you know, not using it, if you're creating a revenue stream for yourself and for YouTube, I would say that they would help you with that.
They would, but at this point, the zeros become part of my brand, and it would actually be detrimental to change it. So I'm just sticking with it. I mean, dead mouse.
You couldn't have two and then just have it point to the other channel, maybe?
That's something I've considered. I do that, you know, with email forwarding all the time. So, you know, I have my private email, which is a string of crazy, ridiculous, hard to read letters.
Right.
And so that's not the email I give
out. Like Gabe C, Black Gryph0n, number 4732. Navy SEAL, broke a FEMA dot, you know.
Awesome.
It's in Budapest. It's in Budapest language.
No, but
a lot of clicks.
We're just kind of getting into like the YouTube thing. Like, you know, we're older guys. We're not, you know, like, and I'm thoroughly amazed. I was just, and there's a kid, and I just got turned on. Someone maybe watch Liza Koshy. You know this girl? I mean, she's got 10 million subscribers, and she gets anywhere between 5 and 10 million views every week.
No, I know, it's crazy. Some of the guys some of the guys, there's a YouTube algorithm too that favors certain types of videos, and there's a lot of luck involved, but there's also some people are just like YouTube geniuses. They know what people are looking for. They know how to push to their, audience. One of the first guys who really was successful at that was a guy who goes by PewDiePie.
Right.
Felix is his real name. I think everybody knows him. He's notorious. He's got 50 million subscribers.
Now, have you gone to these YouTube things that everybody goes to out there? Don't they have like a get together or?
They do. Yeah, they have them around the country. I have yet to do that. I've just recently, started putting more focus into my YouTube channel because, I have these seasons. I'll have like the voiceover season where I'm recording and I'm traveling a lot. That's actually right now. I just came back from Canada a few days ago.
What do you say, Sausage? Maybe we should manage this kid. What do you think? We should manage.
Hey, what do you think? Hey, listen though, but Gabe, here's a question. I'm just curious, and I don't know if you know or not, but kind of like how YouTube pays. Say you had every week your video got 10 million views. What is that in dollars? What does that come out to be?
It's $10,000. You get about $1 per 1,000 views. So, but the caveat is that typically people who are producing videos that get that kind of views are hiring people to help them produce. I have a friend, Yoav, who goes by the Living Tombstone on YouTube. He's got close to 3 million subscribers. And he'll pay me to sing for him. His video will get 2-3 million views in the first week, so he gets $3,000. But he'll pay me, a decent chunk to sing for him, and then he'll pay his animator, because he releases a video every week, and that's why his channel's so big. But he's probably making close to what I'm making on YouTube because I do everything myself.
Yeah, but he's got a lot more time on his hands to.
Yeah, because that's his career at this point. He does YouTube.
Amazing.
That's his thing.
Totally amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy. But even after that, now you have the ability to get other gigs, maybe some advertising, or because they're really going after these people like they're celebrities.
Oh yeah.
I remember walking down the street or something. I forget who it was. I have younger kids, and they're like, "Oh, there goes what's his face." There was like thousands of people chasing. I said, "What does he do?" "Oh, he's on YouTube." Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. No, there are the YouTube celebrities. I mean, it's as with anything, if you has a large audience, then you're going to develop a following. And now that the industry, the TV and film industry is going, oh, we need to pay attention to this, and they're starting to hire people from YouTube. Or even the music industry. The Weeknd, Weeknd, I think he was a YouTuber. And now he's, signed to a label. Oh yeah, that's where he started on YouTube.
Now, did you get one of these plaques for 100,000? Do they send? Is that?
Yeah.
So that's 100,000 is a level, or is it
50,000? Yes. No, it's 100,000, million, 10 million, and that's all they have so far.
So you get like a regular YouTube button, right? A button or something like that.
Yeah, I can show it to you. It's over there.
Yeah, let me see it. You ever see that piece?
No, I have not. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my headphones off a second.
That's all right.
I can say terrible things about me, and I won't react.
Okay, let's say terrible things about him.
See the hair on this guy?
And I know she'll be the death of me and least
By the way, that's
Jackson,
I heard about these plaques, but I've never seen this. This is really cool. We get to see this.
So it comes in this nice box, and it's got like YouTube screen caps all over it. And then you get a letter from the CEO of YouTube, which is neat, and it's signed. And then they pack it really nicely. And then it's silver plated, and then it just says,
"Wow,
isn't that cool?"
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
That is so cool.
Yeah, right.
I like it.
Now, well, how come it's not hanging somewhere? Why is it in a box?
I'm not that nostalgic. I just kind of.
How much for the button, buddy?
100,000 followers.
That's fascinating. Gabe, I was just thinking too, when we listen to you sing, you have this huge range of sound from one guy to the other. Mikey, have you listened to those videos of him?
I watched them all, dude. I watched them.
He nails these people right on the money. So like, how do you get the range from like he does a Bowie, and he goes that low Bowie, and then all of a sudden he'll do a high, like,
Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Like, yeah. How do you now? Are you there's some that you can't nail, or are you able to just do that range naturally, or it took you a long time to find those sounds? Or
there's plenty that I can't nail. I just don't do it. But I don't know. Some of the really low voices, I actually have to pick a time of day to do them, like Optimus Prime. I got to be like early in the morning, or I've had to be screaming all day to let my voice relax into that deep sound. But it's also in the way you pronounce your words, And then, like for Michael Jackson, the interesting thing is David Bowie doesn't have that low of a voice. It's his timbre that sounds low. So,
Really?
I could escape this feeling with my China girl. He's doing that. But then so that's the same note. I could sing it like Michael Jackson. I could escape this feeling with my China girl.
Oh,
and
wow.
it's the same key, but it sounds higher because of the shape that I'm making my
He's just grabbing his privates.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, just squeeze just a little harder. Yeah, that's what he's doing.
That's great.
Do you ever hurt your throat in doing these voices? And do you ever have a problem where you can't work through? Because I ran through I'm a ventriloquist, so my throat is like really important to me. And
Right.
I ran through a scare. I thought it was a scare in October where like 3 weeks, it was getting worse and scraggly and sounding really horrible. And I'm freaking out. And I called one of these doctors that the ENT guys that go down your throat with the scope and stuff.
Right.
And he made me wait 3 weeks. He's like the world's best or whatever. Yeah. And I called him one day when I was about to fly to Florida that night. And he said to me, I said, listen, I'm freaking out. I think I have cancer of the throat. Please take me now. So he just come right now. And I went down and he looked at me. I had acid reflux.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, that must have been a relief.
Yeah, it really was, except for my stomach. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, but then you just took, Pepto-Bismol. Can we endorse that Pepto-Bismol?
No, not at all.
No. Okay. You took the pink stuff, and you were good.
Actually, no. I took something Nexium for a couple of weeks, and then I stopped eating. Like he said to me, this is what the guy asks you when you go into a doctor. Do you eat late at night? Yeah, every night. Do you eat before you go to bed? Yeah. Do you eat chocolate? Yeah. Are you stressed?
Do you drink battery acid?
Yeah. Do you ever have alcohol? Yeah. Yes. He goes, well, you have every symptom. You created everything and possibly to give
You're
you.
fat, Mr. Peasy.
Yeah, are you overweight?
I've got a question on Facebook. I don't see it though. Maybe it's.
No, to answer your question real quick.
I don't see it, Rob. Yeah. I don't see it, bro.
While you're looking that question up, I guess the question is like, is there anything that you do to condition your voice? And have you ever had a problem where you've hurt it by trying to create these voices by pulling this gravel on the chords? Yes,
I did hurt it. I was in a blues band for a while, so I was singing a lot of, I don't need no doctor. Hey, it's all the grinding sound, and then sometimes if I when I imitate screamo, that's the worst. They're like, "Dang, gonna jump off that Jersey bridge," and it doesn't even sound like
it's hurting you though. You could hear it hurting you.
Yeah, that's like that thrash metal voice.
Yeah, but it's actually not anymore. I figured out a way to do it that doesn't hurt. It
really?
Started to, yeah. So I'm actually not vocalizing. The grind sound doesn't happen in my vocal folds anymore. It's just above. It's in my throat.
Are you concerned about getting a node on the vocal cords? People, that's like a big thing that people that use their vocals a lot.
I was for a while, but I used to do a lot more like when I was in the Navy band, and we were traveling and singing, sometimes 3 or 4 gigs a day for 2-3 hours.
Wow.
And I had concerns because we were doing top 40s pop stuff, really high, Justin Bieber. Ugh. And this crazy Justin Timberlake, freaking Bruno Mars, he's the worst. His voice is so high. Yeah. And he was so popular, never had much faith in love for miracles. And he's up there the whole time.
You do that redheaded guy too. Who's the ginger from the UK?
Ed Sheeran?
Yeah,
Ed Sheeran. What's his what kind of stuff does he have? What's that one song that's so famous by him?
Isn't it Love Yourself or something like that?
No, that's Justin Bieber. Ed Sheeran's people fully love in mysterious ways. Maybe it's a part of a plan. And he's got
I hate this guy already. It's so perfect.
That's not your natural key though, right, Gabe?
No, it's not. I'm a tenor.
Wow.
So what I have to do is I have to access, and this is where I was going with all that. The only way I could survive these gigs singing way up there I had to train. Right. I had to actually train my falsetto to sound like my full voice. So what you're hearing isn't my full voice. It's my mixed voice.
Wow.
And I actually was able to get rid of my break entirely. So I can start from my lowest note and bend to my highest falsetto note without a break.
Wow.
And once I figured out how to do that, I eliminated and that's how I gained that range. I actually don't have a huge range. It's a trick to sound like I have a huge range.
That makes it more fascinating that you're able to trick it though and actually pull that. Now, that makes another interesting question though. You just turned around and you said, like, for instance, Justin Bieber, right?
Right.
And that sounds like something you don't want to really do. So there must be things that you really love to do and things that you don't want to do. I mean, like, I asked for a Justin Bieber haircut and they shaved my pubic hair. So
no, and so put it on your head. Is that?
No, yeah, yes, exactly. Can't you see it? So, but the question is that are there people that you really love doing, and there's people that request you to do things that you really don't want to do, but you have to as part of the.
Yes, that's 100% absolutely. And Justin Bieber, he's grown on me. Some of his newer stuff I actually enjoy.
You mean he's gotten taller? What's that be grown on?
No, he's grown on me like a benign tumor. Yeah, or like a mushroom or something. But no, I love doing jazz. Frank Sinatra is right in my range. So when I get requests like that,
give us a Frank. He did a great Frank too. It's amazing.
All right. Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars.
It's amazing. It's got. How do you turn that on and off? It's beautiful. It's great.
Listen, so I have one more thing from the Facebook channel. I like to pop these in. It says, so I'm Daybreak Randall again. It says, Gabe changed my life because of the stuff he did. His music helped me out of a time when I wasn't in a really good place. And he's the reason that I kept positive. It's kind of an odd thing to ask, but is there any way I ever thank him in person? So basically, do you do any kind of appearances anywhere? That
I do.
Come see you, or
yeah, I do, and I actually have quite a few coming up, and they're all I'm really bad at remembering where I'm going and when because
website.
Yes, it's on the website.
Which is
it's GabrielCBrown.com, www.GabrielC as in Charlie Brown.com. You can also go to blackgryph0n.com and it redirects.
With the zero.
Yeah, with a zero.
Now this guy could find out where the stalk game in person.
This is true. My home address is on there. Where I walk alone.
No, but let me tell you something. Like, just think about that. Seth. Here's a guy said, "I'm in a bad place."
Yeah.
And you put me in a better place. That's heavy, man. That's not like not to get like theory and everything. That's a heavy thing. I mean, that's like, to touch somebody in that. And Peasy does it because he's a comedian. So, like, you could go and see a show and, like, go in there and then feel better, even if it's for an hour. You know what I mean? But it's got to feel good maybe to help somebody or inspire somebody. It does.
And it's a tremendous honor. And it's hard to know how to respond to that sometimes because it's like I firmly believe that I don't, and nobody who's in the public eye deserves to have a fan following. If someone is a fan of you, that is a gift. That's something that they're giving to you, that they're offering you. They're saying, I enjoy what you do and I'm going to watch what you do. And that's a huge, tremendous honor. And there's really no way that I can repay that besides just continuing to do what the people want. And it's relationship.
But you are, because you're being humble right now. And by being humble, you're actually saying, and being humble is saying that I don't deserve this, is actually saying that you're showing how much you appreciate it. That you're not up on an ego ride on this. You're just giving away what you have. And by the way, when you turn around and say, right, you just said a moment ago that, it's inspirational. And I love the word inspirational because it means to be in spirit. And in spirit is really what the word inspiration means. And it means that it comes from the outside, comes inside, and then comes out through you. And a lot of musicians and entertainers and writers and singers, and they always say, I don't know, I just was writing something and it just came out of me like from the thin air. I don't know where it came through me, but not from me. Mm-hmm. And essentially, that's kind of what you're saying when somebody's inspired by you. You're saying that you're not egotistically or narcissistically attached to the results, and you're giving away what you do naturally, and you love doing it. And that's beautiful. That's art, creating art in a sense.
Yeah, and it's a gift that people listen to you because there's so many people have something to share, and those who get an audience to share it with are extremely fortunate. But there's no way to earn that, I believe, because you never deserve fans. Fans are always a gift.
Agreed.
So that's just kind of how I look at it.
Totally agree.
Yeah. Hey, Gabe, obviously you do voiceovers and stuff, but do people recognize you? Do you ever get recognized or like?
Yeah.
They will after this show.
What happened? People would go up and be like, oh man, you got to call my wife as Marge Simpson. Or does people do that to you?
I have had people recognize me. What's funny is more often than not, I won't know that they recognized me until I go home and I see on Twitter, oh my gosh, just met Black Gryph0n. Didn't know what to say, and then I'm like, oh, you should have said something to me. I don't bite unless you ask me to. But it's, that a few times people have asked, hey, are you the guy who does the impressions? I haven't until recently, like I said, really even shown my face on YouTube. I started out just by doing music and sticking with voiceover. Okay. So this impressions video has caused the frequency of recognition to go up. And then also, like I said, the S1Ep4 movie, which went viral. It's not my product, but I got hired to do it, which I'm very thankful for. We did a live action, like comment version of the song because the song got so popular. And I actually had 3 kids, probably, ranges from like 5 to 10, who asked their mom to ask me if I was the guy from Beep Beep I'm a Sheep. And wow, that was cool. And so then I got to do that. And then one of them knew that I was Becky from Finding Dory. I don't know how she knew that, but these kids knew how to navigate the internet and figure that stuff out. That's really interesting to me. The entertainment industry is changing. And
I went on your Twitter and people are all like, I gotta take a picture with Gabe. I took a picture. I went on there. I looked at this. This is like a picture says, I'm your #1 fan.
Yeah.
Yes, that's Nora.
So now
you know these people. Okay.
So now I see Alexis Brown said, my friend introduced me to you, to be honest, but I think I'm a bigger fan now. Your music has inspired me to try to become a better person, as well as become a voice actress. If I ever get the chance to meet you, then I'll probably die of happiness.
Whoa, I wouldn't want that.
And somebody just said, Daybreak said they're trapped in their naval schedule, and they is trapped in Navy, and he's not able to make Gabe's convention. He's all unhappy about that.
I know how that feels, man. I know how that feels. Yeah, that's just, I guess the encouragement is that you're doing something way cooler than most of us are doing.
It's gotta be, it's gotta be a little weird. It'd be weird to me, like someone we're just like regular people, right? I mean, honestly, when you come down to it, right? You were born, you went to school, you were hanging out, you're joking around, and then you had a venue to become more popular, and now people are like looking up to you a little bit, want to be what you are. It
is, and it's awesome. It's also pressure, I mean, you're just like you said, yeah, I'm no different. I'm no better than anybody. And in fact, I feel like I'm worse in a lot of ways. And so,
tell us more.
That's for the later show. But then, people are looking up to you, all of a sudden you have to be very careful how how you're perceived. Your image is important. I've made jokes on Twitter and stuff and that have been screen cap, taken out of context, edited, and then all of a sudden people are offended. People are angry. And I'm like, whoa, where did that come from? I didn't mean that. But, I think while simultaneously you have more people who like you and want to be like you, you have people who hate you and who want to take you down, and you can't have one without the other. And so it's a I don't know. I don't want to use the freaking term double-edged sword again because 3 times is too much, but I can't think of a synonym. It's difficult.
Me and Peasy were just talking about this last night.
Yes, we were.
Look, as we go to this venue and we pick up steam, and it's happened already. For him especially, his schedule's on there where he's going to be. Your schedule's on there where you're going to be. So there's going to be people that like you and people dislike you for some reason.
Trolls.
Troll you or whatever. I mean, so you could go someplace and people know where you're going. Mm-hmm. And if someone knows where you live, they know you're not there, or just weird stuff.
Well, look at the guy that killed John Lennon and Jodie Foster and all this. You look at stuff like that, and you see there's people that just get hooked.
But do you know why you think he killed John Lennon?
If you want to get attention of that girl, of what's her name?
Jodie Foster, wasn't it?
Jodie Foster.
I will tell you the true story because my cousin was the lead homicide detective on the John Lennon case.
Wow.
2 interesting facts off topic. One, he sent him dozens and dozens of tapes for John Lennon to hear his music, and he blew him off, and he was pissed off at him. And two, when he was going to the morgue, there was a cameraman outside with a bag with $20,000 cash and told my cousin, get me a picture of John Lennon in the morgue and this $20,000 is yours. And he turned him down, obviously. But
Wow.
you got to talk to he's older now, he's 80, but it's like a crazy story with John Lennon.
Well, I never heard that portion of the story.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it doesn't surprise me at all, though. I mean, John Lennon, and the sad thing is he probably never even saw the tapes. I mean, can you imagine the kind of mail that guy gets? It's hard enough to keep up with Twitter when you have 20,000 followers. This guy was known by millions of people.
Right, that's crazy.
Worldwide.
Let's imagine you get to that point now. I know Gabe got a little dark right now. What happened?
Yeah, he looks a little dark.
Yeah. My
pay your
lights
bills.
are dying.
Pay your bills, you cheap bastard.
No, it's not that. Now we know why he's the Black Gryph0n.
Yes, you're about to experience the power of the
No,
dark
but
Speaking of that, you
can't go anywhere. Imagine that, like, you can't even, like, there's people that got to shut down in Disneyland just to go, or they can't go out to eat dinner, or just imagine going to a dinner and every few minutes I mean, look, it's good on one end, right? But it's bad on another end. I mean,
at that point, though, it completely usurps your life at that point. You know, look at people like Michael Jackson, and people wonder why he was so messed up. It's like he didn't have a childhood. He didn't have anything, and he was, slandered and who knows how. I have no idea what's true about Michael Jackson and what isn't.
We had a guy on last week who claims that it was really true. And last night, if you look at last week's show, he's claiming there was a secret room. And this is getting off topic again, which I won't even do. More importantly, Gabe, this is a good question, though. Speaking of voice, can you do black people's voice? I know you were doing Batman. I heard you doing this, and then the guy, I forgot the guy. Whatever that guy's name.
Wait, Batman's black?
Bane.
What are you talking about?
No, I didn't say Batman's
Dark Knight. He wears black. But yes, but I avoid that sometimes because But yeah, I'll see if I can do something.
No, it's because of the stupid world we live in. Right away, you're a racist or something like that.
Exactly, yeah. That's so, to me, that's ridiculous. I mean, personally, I think imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Absolutely.
And if you're not, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying the word black. There's nothing discriminatory, if that's a word, about the word. Now, if you're using it in a negative context, that's discrimination.
Now, if you're doing "Mammy Knox," if you're doing that, then you have a problem.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways about it. It's just listen, man, this world has gone crazy. Trust me.
I agree. It's the day of being triggered. Everyone's offended by everything, and
so now you got now your most subscribers in YouTube as you started showing your face more and singing and stuff. Is that what became popular now? So
I've gained. Yeah.
Let's get the question what's next for Gabriel Brown?
Well, interestingly, as I started doing more YouTube, I started getting more offers. I'm kind of trying to find a balance now between, doing paid offers or, trying to increase my popularity on YouTube, and it's a trade-off. So I've had to set rates for things where I used to do collaborations for free. Now I can't anymore because too many come in. And that's caused some animosity. People were mad because I was charging for Skype lessons. And they're like, why don't you just give them for free? It's like, because I did the math. It's something like if I Skyped every one of my fans for half an hour for free, I would have to live like 700 years or something. But it's difficult because I'd love to do it all for free, but I can't. One thing that's exciting, I did get reached out to by America's Got Talent, and they want me in next year's season, which is exciting.
Talking to a guy with a lot of experience, 2
years in a row I did it.
What do you think, Beezy? You think it's worth it for him?
I think he'll do really, really well on it, but the key is it has to be funny as the money. So talk to me about the funny part, because I can help you with that. Funny is
yes.
And that's another thing, as I'm hearing you do all these great voices on your YouTube channel, which I have to really push people. If you haven't heard of Gabriel Brown's, you have to go to his YouTube channel. It is really amazing. I'm an entertainer, and I'm amazed at him. But that makes me think of this other issue. Have you ever done stand-up with these characters in a stand-up bit? Because I could see taking you to a comedy club and having you just do an open mic where you go out and do a 7-minute spot and direct the audience through a time travel of all these different characters with great joke punchlines.
I'm so glad you asked that question because I got really lucky. Just a couple weeks ago, I was in Chicago for a show, just one of my singing performances. And I went to see a show at Second City, and they found out that I was there. One of them found out the stuff that I did from my Twitter, and they invited me and some of the other people that were at the convention, my fellow actors, to go do stand-up. And we did their third act of improv with them. which was so much fun. And it was a total blast. And, you know, they were smart about it. They're like, all right, come before the second act. Drinks are on us, you know. And then by the time you're on stage, everyone was really loosened up. And, you know, the audience has all been drinking. So I probably wasn't funny at all. But, you know, as long as the audience laughed, that's all.
Well, I could help me be funny. I could write the jokes for this stuff. This is great. He got the talent is great. Once you weave jokes in there, it's 100%. Yeah.
Doesn't like Jeff Norris do a lot of that? The comedian, doesn't he do like a De Niro?
Not a lot. No, I have a friend of mine.
De Niro like as his father, and like he tells
couple.
a story like of his wife's family, and the main characters of a family are like he relates to that. Oh, father's like Robert De Niro, and he does the father-in-law as right. I think something like that would be very funny.
Well, it's always the comparison, you know, this guy being that guy or that guy. That's a very classic part of it. But there's a guy I know as a comic I work with all the time, lives right down 10 miles away from me. His name is Rob McNaughty. And he does, as a matter of fact, you can look him up on YouTube too. He's a really wonderful impressionist. He does everyone, and he does it really, really well too. But there's jokes all in it. It's made to be funny. Now I notice Gabe sings like the real person. And there's nothing funny about singing like the real person, unless you're that person impersonating somebody else, and that makes that dual level. I
happen to love that comedy. You know who was like that? You know Sal Richards, right? The older comic. He did a Sammy Davis, right? And he's a very good singer. He's a good singer too, Sal. And when he was, you know, very good. And he would sing as Sammy Davis, and as he was going across the stage, he would start getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Like he'd morph into Sammy Davis, and all of a sudden, and it was really funny. And I just think like things like that. Like you could do the character because you do it anyway when you do the voice. But if you get into character, you know, I mean that stuff is funny to me. Like because hey, look at Jim. What's his name? The Mask.
Gary.
I mean, that guy. All he did was impressions. You know, he did Gorbachev.
He got out of it to do movies eventually because he knew that he could only go so far with the character.
But he became popular because of that.
It's limited. But you see, for a guy like Gabe, I mean, I'm looking at it, and I would think to him, the key to him is to get hooked into a series that explodes like The Simpsons grew with that. Like he gets into the beginning of something that blows up, and then all of a sudden he's the guy. And you're on top.
You need a manager, kid, eh?
Stupid money. And then on the other hand, if you get caught into one thing anyway, a few characters, and you're locked up, and then all of a sudden you want to grow and you can't. You're being pulled because they contract you to do that.
The old double-edged sword.
Yeah.
What is it
That's
called?
a really good analogy you got.
No, they call that a callback in the business, sir.
I gotta use that in the future.
You know, the other thing too, though, about being an impressionist too, there's a cheesy way to do it too, a wrong way to do it. I don't know if I work with comedians for the last 20 years, and every time the comic come on stage and say, all right, tonight I'm going to do this guy, say this guy went to the Caribbean, and then they do this some cheesy impression. The best thing I ever heard was years ago, was the comic used to be on Saturday Night Live years ago, who, matter of fact, was with O'Reilly, and now he's got no gig. To come to think of it. Who am I talking about? So who just got
no idea. Go ahead.
Who came on O'Reilly?
Dennis Miller.
Dennis Miller, brilliant comic. A man who knows control the English language. He would come on stage and say, I'm going to do an impression of this guy doing that. And then as soon as you go to do it, he'd stop and go, I'm not going to do that. Which is great because it's like we're always waiting for the cheesy thing to happen. Nothing happened. I think he's brilliant. So
that's very clever.
Right, there's a way to do it wrong, apparently.
Hi, Mr. Peasy. It's about that time, bro.
No, I want to talk to Gabriel more. Oh, wait a minute. Nora and Kubri's want to say hi from YouTube to you, Gabriel.
Yes, Nora. She's the girl that you showed a picture of on.
Your picture was on here, Nora.
She has been supporting me. She's amazing. She's
now, Nora. If you watch the replay, you'll see the picture of you.
Yeah, I can show it again. Matter of fact, wait.
Yeah, do it again, Peasy.
I can show it again.
This is Sausage's naked picture.
Oh yeah, show that too.
You only got one on the screen, buddy. Nora's cut out. Hold it to your right, brother. Jeez, what are you doing, dude? What are you dyslexic?
I don't know. I'm like retard workshop.
You can't say retard. That's offensive.
That's right.
Yeah,
no, workshop.
Don't say that. What you doing?
Workshop is offensive. All right. So listen, before we wrap this up, I have to say thank you, Gabriel, because I've been wanting to interview Gabriel for the longest time. I'd love to have you back anytime. I could sit here and talk for hours about voice. There's so many questions I wouldn't even get out. But more importantly, where can we see you tomorrow, today, next year? What's coming up?
What's your home address, Gabe?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Glad you asked. It's I update Twitter the most at Black Gryph0n, and that'll just tell you wherever the heck I am, whatever the heck I'm doing. And my website, that's where you find out where I'm going. I think my next appearance is in Salt Lake City, and that's in a month. I don't know. That's why it's on my website. And YouTube. I'm really trying. I'm working on a second impressions video because I've had an overwhelming amount of requests, and yet they're all limited to about 20 different people, which is the perfect number. So I'm just going to nail all those requests, just get them out of the way, and then maybe focus on doing some more original music.
Hey, did you see that? Did you see that kid that that does like 50 songs like in 3 minutes? Did you see that YouTube video?
I did.
That was really smart. I think it's a really smart, and he's got a good voice. You saw that piece? I showed you that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah,
he's smart too. But I mean,
it's the same sort of thing. It's the same sort of thing, except everyone has their different line. I think this guy's more on the money.
I think if anybody, they could send Gabe $100 and he'll do a message for you on your answer machine.
Well, actually, send it to us, and then we'll send him 50.
Yes, and then you'll send me the cut that I deserve.
By the way, we're gonna send you new lighting. By the way, mine is too bright, yours is too dark, and so
I know, I can't believe it. These lights are supposed to light. I mustn't have charged them.
One of these things is not like the other.
And meanwhile, the sausage is cooked perfect. See that? He's all pink and ready to take off the barbecue.
To live up to my name.
Listen,
Daybreak.
He's the Black Gryph0n, so he has to be darker.
That's right.
Yo, man, how y'all doing?
Don't do that. You're gonna get a lot of trouble right now.
Yeah.
All right, Gabe.
I have a black puppet, by the way, that hates black people, and I commit to it because I don't give a shit. I really don't care.
No.
I'm not kidding. I don't care. You have to commit in comedy. That's the way it goes.
That's
you
true.
like it, you don't like. You have to take. You have to take the punch as well as the last.
Smokey's pretty funny. He's great.
Smokey's hilarious, and he hates white people.
Yeah,
if you can be an equal opportunity, jerk, then I think
Offended.
that no one gets offended.
Yeah,
Smokey's either all or nothing.
Smokey's
Right.
great. Through the whole act, he just yells at Obama every 5 minutes. Obama.
And by the way, Daybreak Randall says, "Love you, Gabe. You got a great future." That's what's
thanks, man.
yelling
Thank
down.
you so
They
much.
wanted to make sure that you heard that.
So they love you. You're gonna have a great future. When the girl meets you, she's gonna die, but she'll be happy. So you're all set up.
Yeah, that's a double-edged sword,
Thanks for coming on, Gabriel.
Thank you, Gabe.
Well, thank you for having me. It was great.
Thanks to Rob Hicks, our producer in the corner over there.
Yeah, we're gonna just end it like this with all three of us.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be
everybody
nice?
goes like this. Thank you, Gabe. I mean, I thank you.
Rob, have a good night, Rob. You could take us out, Rob. Play the intro. If you have do you have a promotional video for yourself? Play it.
Doesn't have a promotional video.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Well, Rob is a real marketing man.
Good night.
Good night. Ciao, guys. Thank you, Gabe.
Oh, no problem. Thank you, guys. This is awesome.